14 matches to go in what promises to be an intriguing contest in the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship as it changes into another gear for the 2020 edition. All teams now do have an inkling of what is expected from them as far as this tournament is concerned for this term edition. A very good morning to you and thank you so much for joining us. Coming to you live from the Wolfson Stadium. There is a bit of an overcast right now, but we are hoping for clear and beautiful skies. As right now, all the teams now do know that it will take a lot in terms of them qualifying for the knockout stages. That is the message across the board from the teams. In the opening round of fixtures, we did have 8 goals that were scored across all the groups. As we now look at the results from the opening day, we had Mozambique getting a very important victory against Lesotho for their campaign. South Africa, they had to fight until the dying seconds against the Young Warriors to try and salvage a draw in that game. It was a 2-2 draw that we saw here. As we look at what transpired in terms of the log standings, Mozambique, the only team that was able to get the maximum points, and they sit top, but they cannot get too comfortable, and they will try to get a victory here against Zimbabwe, followed by South Africa and Zimbabwe, who got the draw, and Lesotho, who will be in action later on, that they are yet to collect points. You look at Group B, you find the defending champions, they won. Same can be said for Malawi, as they sit 1 and number 2 on the log standings. The Comoros as well as Namibia will have it all to do in their next game if they do have a chance of going through to the knockout stages. When you look at Group C, made up of 3 teams, Eswatini getting a very important victory against Angola, and Botswana will taste their first bit of action this time around, as they will be in action a bit later on at the Gelvendale Stadium. 3 fixtures that we will be witnessing across the board as far as the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship for today. We will have 2 that will be played here, and we will have another one out there at the Gelvendale. Across the message, when you listen to both coaches, for Coach Tonderai, for him, he says, for me, this could be a group decider in terms of staying in the competition and going through to the knockout stages. While for the coach of Mozambique, Coach Dario, he says that I want us to build from that performance. Let's hear from the coaches. Coach Dario, already 1 game out of the way. Do you believe that the boys now know what is expected from them in this tournament?
Yes, we expect to match Zimbabwe and to try to win is our next objective. We won the first final against Lesotho, so today we want to match Zimbabwe, to compete, to see how the boys they can compete in this level with a good team like this Zimbabwe team.
You speak about winning, and it is reflected in the change that you made. Cardoso Novella starts today as another attacking option. Please elaborate.
No, we had another one play with the cramps in the last game, so we don't want to force the boy, because one day after we will play against South Africa. So we will rest that boy, so we change.
Against the Young Warriors today, a team that got a draw in their last encounter, you did talk about Lesotho and what you're expecting from them, but now from Zimbabwe?
Yes, we expect a tough game. They have a good team. I saw they playing against South Africa, so we expect a tough game, but I believe that we can match, because we are here for that.
Thank you, all the best. Coach, you had already made mention of the recovery process from the boys, just how anxious you were about it. Please give us an idea in terms of how the team is looking based on the recovery.
Thank you very much. Look, I think we've tried the best we can to manage the recovery process, but I think you can also agree with me that there isn't much time. In no time you are preparing for the next match, and that's what we have done. So not enough time, but we have done the best we can, and we've also tried to freshen the team up a little bit. So we are going to open a bit, and we have introduced a winger today, so that gives you an idea of how we want to play today.
You already talk about the changes that you've made. Let's now look at the game, because like you're saying that against South Africa you couldn't really match them pound for pound.
Yes.
This time around, do you expect an open game?
Most definitely, because we drew, got 1 point. Now we want 3 points, and we can't afford to draw again. Remember, our opponent we are playing today won their last match. They have 3 points, so we really have to notch the points on the board if we really harbor any chances of progressing to the next round. So yes, we are going to be a bit open today, attack and make sure that we get a result, but of course with some bit of caution.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you very much.
We look at what we have as far as the action for today. Mozambique against Zimbabwe, the opening fixture here. A bit later on, it is Lesotho and South Africa that will clash off. And over at the Gelvendale Stadium, Botswana will be up against Angola. 3 fixtures in the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship for today. And just to echo the sentiments of both coaches, you hear the coach of Zimbabwe, Coach Tonderai, saying that we want to get a victory today. Hence, they made a change in Billy Antonio that comes in, and Coach Dario from Mozambique. For them, again, they also made one change in Cardoso Novella coming in. Well, that is the picture that we have here. The young Mambas against the young Warriors. In commentary, Motlogeleng Kininda.
It is Coach Dario versus Coach Tonderai. Mozambique up against Zimbabwe. The COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship 2020. Hello and welcome at the Wolfson Stadium on a match day 3 for these 2 teams. Of course, they'll be looking into taking advantage of this humidity that is too much, and 29 kilometers wind speed will also be at an effect. However, no weather conditions in this state will affect this match today. 2 sides on the second clash of the COSAFA Under-20 Championships. That is Mozambique versus Zimbabwe. Well, 2 sides that they know what is at stake, and a Mozambican side that have already saw themselves sitting number 1, and they would want to maybe consolidate that and add another 3 points for them to stay with 6 points. And Zimbabwean side are also looking into maybe today they'll register their first win after dropping the ball against South Africa. Today will be the day for them to redeem themselves. However, it all depends on the 90 minutes that these players, young stars sitting on the stands, and also the 11 that has been selected to go represent their team, will be just looking forward to finding themselves scoring early. Oh, this is a very unique venue, used to host the likes of Bay United. Now it's used as a multi-purpose as well for rugby matches sometimes. And today we host the wonderful event that is the COSAFA Youth Championships Under-20 between these 2 sides. Who wants to take it better? Who wants to take it home? It is Mozambique that have 3 points, and Zimbabwe sitting on a point after dropping the ball there. Well, Mozambique are currently the only team that have secured 3 points. That's the only team that is sitting on top of the Group A log. So they want to maybe want to get another 3 points.
And now, the national anthem of Zimbabwe.
anthems are meant to inspire and motivate the young stars, and just to remind them that they are out there representing their nations. And now that we've got that out of the way, it is time for the officials, of course, to just get more clarity from the players. The likes of Ishmael Chizinga will be ushering this match alongside Caesar Dlangamandla and Khasilemale Mulife and Vistoria Shangula are the officials to usher this match today. No, Mozambican side, all they want is not to concede a goal or not to lose today's match up against the Zimbabwean side that is out to get their first 3 points. Well, it seems like Mozambique have made up their mind. When and where are they going? Well, starting 11 looks pretty much clear with just a mini change, having them playing a simple 3-4-3. The aim is to attack and also be able to defend, with the likes of Diaz Fumo being back, Valdemunha Paulinho also being back. Well, the Zimbabwean stars are just also looking at fueling up front with a 4-3-3. That is trying to locate that man Tapiwa Mandinyanya, who went out as a sub previously, and Bill Antonio starting this time around. The first few minutes you understand that the Mozambican side have at least this man, Dario Monteiro, who just congested the center of the park, having 4 players, likes of Tashio Augusto, Diaz Fumo, Clyde Tropper and Sultan Jamese, players that will be looking into guarding and just guiding the Zimbabwean side. And Simon Cipriano being also the players that will just be influential going forward, especially that he's scored a goal. But up against this man who has 3 players in the center, that is Tonderai Ndiraya. Oh, everything rhymes with the R there, and El Capitano Monashe Pini is one player who needs to guide and communicate with his defenders quite well to try and identify their passes, use their pocket passes, utilize the 3 in the center of the park. And Kelvin Mangisa, one of the players that will be up against this man, Sultan Jamese. For oh my goodness, I just mixed up a number of players there, but all is not lost. Just waiting and waiting for the main man who is in charge of this game. Of course, after having passed their test earlier on in the week, and just delegates who are part of this event and just here to witness. And same delegates are the ones who identify the man of the match at the end of the day, so they have a watchful eye. Always wait and see that the ref and the 4th official eventually find it fitting to just give us a go-ahead to run this show. And of course, social media will be one of the platforms to catch more conversations on this match that is happening today. And off we go. Then finally the players are given a green light to kickstart this game already. Well, COSAFA Youth Championship 2020, Mozambique versus Zimbabwe. And already Zimbabwe have given a feel of the ball and just to rotated whenever they can, maybe not start on their back foot. Now here's a poor pass coming in, but good pressing coming from Caruso Novella, but Rafael Pizzi says not now, not yet. Well, if you look at the structures of the players also, you'll understand that they will go hard on each other. It could be a pound for pound match, and whoever is fit enough will definitely be able to score the goals they need. And if your fitness level is a bit unsure, then you would start going down and buys time. If you are trailing behind, you can't afford to be going down most of the time. Now a ball played in the center by that man Lexington Mujokoro. How's a dangerous man too, that is Lexington Mujokoro. He has the personality and the power and the pedigree now to just get the ball in. Kelvin Mangiza finds Tapio Mandinyenya. Nyenya goes forward, well protected ball, but nothing to trouble Mozambique yet. Playing in the final third is one of the things that you would want. And a ball played in, but denied a cross. That is Munashe Epini, who has won himself a corner. No, that a left-footed player will then go on the other side to try and swing it in. That is Kelvin Mangiza, who is in swing most of the time, and a player who comes in, of course, having a yellow card on his name. Now a ball played into the first half. Well, not properly cleared, it went up, but the keeper did not show up to try and maybe be the one that wins that high ball, because he has the advantage to get it at its best height. There's a man at Dario Monterio, who's won trophies in South Africa under coach Kevin Hunt back in the days, and now he's earning his paying his dues rather as a coach, just grooming youngsters, and of course being afforded an opportunity to be coaching a national team is very clear that the coach knows what he's doing, and he's got the capabilities to deliver the mandates. Of course, you saw the delegates up here, and some of them have brought their HODs, their directors of sports and recreation. Now ball with Kelvin Mangiza. It's cleared out the box by Mozambique. Still starting slow. Maybe people are just, or players are just getting a feel of the ball and getting to understand who plays where and what is their strategy. Then they will unleash their attack mode and try get a goal early. Now ball with Kemisi Zavala finds that man Dias Fumo. Let's say there's a Mozambique inside will just confuse you sometimes when they dish out their team sheet, and formations are not the same as how they play. Now Polo with Tapiwa wanted to go for shot, but he goes wide. Ball on the far side of the pitch. Throw in Kevin there, and the conversations with the coaches earlier on, colleague Loreto Pachu just getting to dig deep into coaches' responses, but coaches sometimes they hold back. The likes of Dario wasn't able to actually give a clear indication what is his strategy, but we will get to that point eventually. You'll feed more information to the lady on the floor. That is Pachu Loreto. And ball played on to the right hand side now by Mozambique, finding Dacio Augusto. Seems to be an usher in the field of play. That is Cardoso Novella. And, a player who came on as a sub, that is Novella, but now this is Sultan Jamese. And then the players who coach trust too much, and also gives him the responsibility to be the captain of the sheep, which is the team. Now a ball laid in, then he has the ball. Tashi goes for a shot, but idea was there, but execution was a bit too hard, and a bit of a height as well, just to go way over the crossbar. Played long to find that man Tapiwa Mantinyenya. It's a 2v1 and Tapiwa well covered there. 3 bodies right in front of him, not giving him the room that he wants. That is Alberto Arfase with his hairstyle that is well tied up. It's called Ipondo in local language. Too much aggression and physique in the center will be felt. Here's this man, a fullback, Tino Tenda Moringai finds Kelvin Mangiza at a denied room to make that run by that man. Dacio Augusto is a strategic player. He always adds on to his teammates just to add numbers most of the time. That is Simon Cipriano. Well, he's familiar with under 17 COSAFA because he was a part of it as well. You know, also comes from Black Bulls Academy out in Maputo. Antonio Doman, man that came on as a sub, is trying to find his feet, maybe combine touches and see if he cannot penetrate through the spaces, if there are any spaces, or can he just directly crosses to Kelvin Mangiza or Tapiwa Mantinyanya. There's 3 of them up front, so they want to share the ball the best way that they can, just to trouble the defense of Mozambique. The pace of the game was just telling you that the coach said we do not rush anything. We do not want to put ourselves under pressure. We do not want to exhaust us in the process. So let's rather play fair and simple. We move as a team towards the box. Now denied a cross, so that is Kevin Mangiza up by that man, Rene Tembe. Again, Tembe putting pressure on Tapiwa. Tapiwa lays it for Kelvin Mangiza. Cross is put in, but cleared by the defender. He has done fairly well. That is Clyde Tropper, making no mistakes there, just making sure nothing is won by the opposition side. And the referee says you need to put the ball down on your right hand side, Kimisi Zavala. Oh, the tall man there in the center. He just wants to win everything. That is Munashe Karananga. Switch of play, but not the greatest of the greatest passes, because it goes out. No, this man Valdemiro Paulinho, if you give him room, if you give him a chance to drop a shoulder to get you on a step over, he's on his bike, he's definitely going to trouble the keeper, because he likes taking those shots from outside the box, and once he gets chances to penetrate through the spaces and the boxes, he is most likely going to use that to his advantage as well. The passing hasn't been accurate, and it's a question mark for both sides. If are they feeling heavy because the pitch is a bit nippy? Well, it rained at the early hours of this morning, so maybe it might start feeling heavy as compared to when it's just dry. There's a big man there, Munashe Karananga finds Maned Matsigidze. If you look at the Thursday result, Mozambique winning that game by 1-0, and Cipriano was the player who actually scored that goal, and he was just a smart mover, you know, and he was able to profit himself for the team. That's a definite foul throw. Should know better. Number 10, Lexington Mujokoro. Now, Lexington on the ball. It was a silent mover, this young Lexington. You think that he's a shy player. Once he gets on, he gets his groove on. He's one person that will see bulleting forward most of the time, just trying to get into the box and add numbers whenever he can. And if you don't deny him the passes, then you're going to find yourself under pressure. Now Mozambique trying to play a back-to-back pass, but the high pressing coming from the two men up front, that is Kevin Mangiza and Tapio Mantinyenya, seems to be not coming alright for the defense of Mozambique. Valdemiro Paulinho, one of their players, was substituted in the previous match. Mozambique unshaken and just keeping shape, shuffling them around, and it's just not giving Zimbabwe the spaces that they want. Probably they sitting in, want to force them to play long so that they can win the ball. So Monashe Karananga has been rotating the ball and just looking for those spaces. Now it's played long to find the big man, Tapiwa Mantinyenya. And then it gives it to Bill Antonio. Now, here's the man who needed to take a strike, but needed to bring it to his stronger foot instead of his left foot. Now, and ball coming from this man who needed to take the initial shot, Lexington. And a hand ball has been given to Mozambique. There's a chance where he could have went for a direct shot, but too many bodies are closing him in, and was just unable to get it right with his right foot. I needed to just bend forward, lean forward, maybe put a full lace on it and direct it to goal. Force maybe the keeper to fix it back into play. And you've got strikers that could put pressure. Maybe you could have gotten yourself a chance at goal. Manered finds Monashe. Monashe Kanaranga. Oh, we've got two Monashes in the field of play, so let's say that it's a popular name in Zim, especially so even anything that has a share, as a Tinashe, Monashe. Used to be a Tinashe Ningomashe in South Africa, playing for Kaizer Chiefs in the center of the park. Players, you not just bypass Nj. No, Nj means just like that. I forget that I'm not local. No. So the pace of this game seems to be very slow, with Mozambique not in a rush to get a goal. Zimbabwe are in the rush to perhaps get a goal early. She drops it for Rafael Pizzi, the 18-year-old. Oh, that is it. Dinotenda Moringa. Moringai. No. All played in, a switch of play coming from that man, Lexington Mujokoro. Rene Tembe plays with his teammate Diaz Fumo. Too much of a good thing, and there's pressing coming from Lexington keeper Kimixi Zavala forced to now go long. Big man wants to win all the high balls. That is Munashe Kanaranga. I think the patient build-up of the passing from the Mozambican side is a bit scrappy because there's no support. Keeper is forced to open up for the fullbacks to try and help them roll the ball well, to help them play rather. Ball is a high foot challenge there, and ref says it's Mozambican ball. Well, current log standings are in favor of Mozambique. If they play a draw, they're still safe because nobody's sitting on 4 points. And South Africa also playing later on up against Lesotho. Zimbabwe wouldn't want to play another draw, put them at danger or at risk, and they might not advance to the next stages, which is something they do not want after having troubled for so long. I mean, if you look at 2019 COSAFA Championship, the under-21, Mozambique had an opening game where they lost their opening game to Namibia by 2 goals to 1. Now Valdemino puts a pace on it, but too much power as well on it. But ideally, he has what it takes to take on the players and just get the crosses in. We have Zimbabwe also played against South Africa and they lost 3-0 in their opening match. No, this time around they opened with a throw, so which should be a confidence booster. And going back to that, Mozambique lost to Zimbabwe by 4 goals to 0 in the last year's COSAFA Youth Championship. Now, the foul is given in favor of the Speedy Gonzalez, Darcio Augusto. A man with 14 team goals as a young man, and even 2 years in the team. Oh, it's a small structure, so it forces Tinotenda Moringai to just pull him or hold him back. And he knows very well that he was in the wrong. To find communications with the keeper. Zimbabwe actually beat Namibia last year by 4 goals to 0, so they were returning the favor that they got from not really a favor, because they walloped Namibia 4 and they were walloped by South Africa. Ball is played in, but too much power. Maybe you should have just went for goal if that was the idea. And the coach just fuming. That is unacceptable. You could have done a better job to cross that ball. Now, the coach has every right to fume in that instance, because it's a goal-scoring opportunity. If there's something from the training ground they may have practiced, could have done it better. But coach, still early, and the players maybe had an idea, or the technique used was not the greatest. Mozambique find Cardoso Novella. Novella forces a throw in. They intend to play Darcio Augusto. Ball position as things stands in the 20th minute of the match in favor of Zimbabwe with 53. Now have an advantage so far. They could use that to their benefit. Well, if you're watching this game and if you'd like to watch this game, you don't know where, you just do the right thing and go to the website, that is live on www.COSAFA.tv, and our social media platforms. Share your thoughts and your views if you're in and around, or you're just eager at sharing a thought on a COSAFA under 20 Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We there to have a bit of a word with you. A ball with Kelvin Mangiza. Seems to be hit so hard with the ball and just not the greatest of it all. Well, it came from this man while he was getting that cross, and he caught Kelvin Mangiza just hitting this young man Rene Tembe at an uncomfortable place, and obviously need to go to the change room if it is too much of pain. Again, they patiently start at the back, the Mozambican side. It's just not rushed, no pressure on them. There's a big man, Munared Matzigite. Now, we have a number of delegates at the stadium. It's just watching very closely. If you see they're holding papers on them, it's a panel. Oh, that is one of the COSAFA members. Now played wide to Bill Antonio, who gets himself to cross to this man, but unable to finish. That is a Tapiwa Marzinyanya. He would have done better, needed to put more power on it. It was a good cross, a good weight on it, and no pressure on him. He then opted to miscue the pass with Carlos Novella on the ball. Now also on the front foot to switch play and find Valdemino Paulinho. Skillful Valdemino just needs to be accurate with his passes. Now Seltin Jamese up against Lexington Mujokoro. Very, very smart player that Lexington play. No, players down, so teammates need to play it fair. They just need to take it out. Seems to be having some sort of a crown. Here's that chance where he got just a good pass from Bill Antonio, but unable to score that one. Tapiwa Mandinyanya, to put more pressure on the ball, more weight. Chance for some of the players to engage with the coaches. Well, it's an official water break anyways, so the players will be going to their coaches to just get a few pointers to work on and fix in the field of play. A few moments or seconds is better to just have a chat with the coach early. Well, temperatures are sitting on 22 degrees Celsius. If you seeing the players' tops, you can tell that there is a bit of a wind going on, and just a little bit of a break would help for coaches to give a few perspective on what they've seen already in the game. So there's a bit of a wind going on, and it does not really affect the game much if they keep the ball on the ground. However, the wind does play a role in slowing down a player's pace sometimes, and they wouldn't want to focus on such. They would rather focus on what the game has in store for them. Red, Mazigite. Foul in favor of Mozambique. Ismail Chizinga from Malawi is given a foul in favor of Mozambican side, who still continue with their patient build-up. Just roll the ball and just share it and move in bits and pieces to get closer and closer to the opposition's 18-yard, or try and get those pocket passes right. Our next game is coming up. South Africa will be looking into playing a better game. Well, they won't be coming from behind. Hopefully this time around they'll score goals, lead the game. A bit of a pushing there coming from Manered Matsigite, picked up by this gentleman on the right hand side of the pitch. That is Caesar Sean Zangamandla. Says you have your hands on this man, Simon Cipriano. His waist. No, Darcio would know that the coach shouted at him, so he would want to roll it better and swing it better. Now an inviting cross and a header coming from that man, big man, popped out of nowhere. Says, I can compete if I want to. That is Diaz Fuma. Quickly goes back, a big centre back. Coach says much better, Cipriano, much better. And I say that Lesotho went a part of the tournament last year. Would be looking into looking into getting themselves winning the match against South Africa. South Africa that also needs to get themselves 3 points and be 4 points. Not clear, they just need to have that 4 points, and then the last game will then decide for them should they win or they draw. But a draw is not safe. It's okay, you can survive depending on how others play. Assaulting Jamese. Ball is wide. That man troublesome. Bill Antonio came on as a sub in the previous match, and he added pace, added skill. He got the ball into the box most of the time. He was just denied by South Africa when he was trying to take shots at goal, until they lost concentration and South Africa punished them. Short coming there. There's a request for a handball. The referee says not now. Cardoso Novella. That is Simon Cipriano, rather. Now gets a cross in to try and find this man, Darcio Augusto. He was just too far out. Now he rolled it in for Cardoso Novella, who's trying to get into the box but denied the room by that big man Munashe Garananga. Here's Dino Tenda, Moringai just denying this one, Dasio Augusto. And Tino Tenda was able to get it out of the danger zone. Rene Tembe throws it in. Tembe in disbelief and is like, age. You know, no, here's the request for that handball. And yes, it bounced off his elbow. So Panashe Mutimbanyoga was hoping to get the referee's attention. Well, 30 minutes into the game, haven't seen anything or any test towards the keeper to see how best they can maybe score, or how best the keepers can make those saves. Now, Rene Tende says, it hit my mouth. It came off the foot to my mouth. Well, the ref says it bounced from your arm as well. So, well, it was a good pass, and Rene was right, and it hit his mouth. I think he has the point, brother. Ball with Kelvin Mangiza. Hey, what congested number of players there. Just fouls now. We're sitting on 7 on Zimbabwe, and 5 Mozambique fouls have been committed. Now inviting Paul again. They find that big man, but not too much power on him. He was unsure if he should go for a header. I think he needed to do better because he's been winning those high balls in the center. What happened with that one? Mozambique on the front foot with Jose Zavala finding Dasio Augusto to Rene Tembe, but Kelvin Mangiza was just there to drop deep and help his teammate Tino Tenda Moringa, who then went for long to find Tapiwa Mandinyenya. Mandinyenya gets himself a foul.
Right, let's go. Stop. Boom. DJ.
Monashe for Mozambique gets themselves out of that danger zone with that combination play to find Rene Tembe from Cardoso Novella back to Novella. Novella finds Darcio Augusto, and Augusto switches the play to the main man, the captain Jamese. Valdemino Paulinho. Well, pass was okay, but not too much weight on it towards Clyde Tropper. I guess pass and passing and passing on another is the theme of this first half. If you look at the number of passes that Mozambique have combined just to try and move forward, but not get into the final third with those passes, it has been a challenge. And hence this young man finds it frustrating to wait for so long to get a ball, hence he goes for a shot. I mean, Dasio Augusto is a goal scorer of note because in his own country he's already scored 14 goals. And, it's been 2 years in the team, and also comes from a Black Bulls. I say that the assembling of the squad by Mozambique is pretty much consisting of players from Association Black Bull in Mozambique. So most of the players, actually, about 12 of them, including some that are on the bench, they come from that academy. So it tells you that they'd rather be safe. Maybe these youngsters have been active during the pandemic. They've been training, of course, within the strict restrictions and following or adhering to the rules and regulations of the COVID-19. The ball played long. Now, Valdemino Paulinho on the front foot there, trying to get in, but this big man, Munashe, just blocks that play. Again, Dasho Augusto. Now, passes are seemingly not going through the spaces that they're trying to penetrate in, the spaces that they're trying to create from themselves. I think you create those spaces in the places that your teammates are moving. They then force the players to follow them. But if your teammates are standing still, like the likes of Simon Cipriano, just standing still up front there, not showing any hunger or appetite of the ball when they are on the run. He always wants to put in the work to then create chances for himself. Now a shot is taken towards the keeper. Probably the first shot at goal. A fuming Simon Cipriano. I told you that he comes too deep because he's not getting the ball most of the time. So now he's forced to mark. He's now with Munashe Gatondo, who's a solid man. Ball Tino Tenda puts in a cross. Back to header to that man, Lexington Mujokoro. It was unlucky for him. He didn't have his full laces or the volley connecting well. Yes, man. Bini Munashe, the captain, trying to be solid defense-wise. Oh, Zimbabwe are in need of a win here. Can they break the defense? Can they penetrate through to just try and get an early goal in the first half, and in the second half try and get a second goal? All awaits us all to see. I promise you, South Africa is probably watching this match very close to see how they could have exploited the Zimbabwean side. And of course, being a match that they'll be playing with one of the sides, that is Mozambique, they would want to understand how they play and how they do it, so they prepare accordingly. Again, Karananga Munashe on the ball in the center, just a man who was sitting too deep, I should say. Maybe he's the reason why Zimbabwe don't get towards the final third, because he pulls them back. He'd rather just push and add more numbers with the teammates that are playing in front of him. That is Panashe Mutimbanyoga and Lexington Mujokoro. They're playing towards the wide side. They're not playing towards goal. Well, a header, not a successful one, not the greatest one. Pressure is on Rafael Piti, who finds Kelvin Mangizi. And a good touch coming from him. Rene Dembe. Ball with Speedy Gonzalez, but brought down by Captain Monashe Pini.
Let's go.
He has a ball on his feet. You can't really take it away from him because of his tiny and the height. It just makes him a little bit quicker. So it results into the likes of a Pini committing that foul.
Okay. We are big man, yes. Left.
Set piece in the right areas. Too much height on it. Darcio Augusto. And looks at the coach again, and the coach says, gives again another instruction how he could have taken it. Captain Sultan Jamase. Darcio. Back to this man, Cardoso Novella. Well, Zimbabwe just adding numbers and forcing Mozambique to go back. But then they go long because the passing through isn't really working for Mozambique, especially that most of the time they are going back. Darcio Augusto has a protest of some sort and says, I had no intentions, I didn't play him, I rather won the ball when Kelvin Mangiza had the ball. Look at Mangiza making that turn. Already he had lost the direction of the ball, and you can say that Darcio Augusto would have, he is quite right to say, I played the ball, he was already falling.
Hey, gajo aí, vai de mim, no meio, Zé.
Ball on the right hand side by Billy Antonio. Now a cheap over to find that man Kelvin, but not utilizing the opportunity. He goes for an outer foot. Why, my goodness. Why don't you just put those full aces then, if you can pick a spot in comfortable position, because the centre backs were closing in on him. The likes of, my goodness, Kelvin Mangiza could have gave the team a lead. But Diaz, a few more is coming closer and closer, closing in for him. It's just chances that you need, because that's the only time they actually see themselves, or seeing the keeper, should we say. For 3 minutes additional time by the ref in this first half, still Zimbabwe nil and Mozambique nil. Now cross whipped in by Tino Tenda, keeper comes out, makes the call. And Diaz, a few more was there to pick up the pieces, and a bit of pushing, a scaffolding. Manured Matsigita. I mean, look at that. Early on, nice poke coming from a Lexington. Mujoko Oroene just gives his teammate Kelvin Mangiza, who went for his outer foot. Yet the first pole was already open. He needed just to pick a spot, but Kimis Zavala was able to just deny this man Kelvin Mangiza the goal scoring opportunity. Oh, if he wants to watch that again, he'll wait. A bit of pulling here coming from Rene Tembe. Karananga Munashe, it goes to that man Munashe Katondo. Still ball, no shots at goal on the Zimbabwean side as Dinesh finds Kelvin. Now here's a mistake coming from Tino Tenda, but not pressed by that big man Simon Cipriano, who just needs to put a bit of pressure on the defenders. Well, instructions are clear to not go too deep into them, rather wait for them to come at us. Oh, here's a chance created by that young man, Bill Antonio, to then lose the ball, and the Clyde Tropper was able to try and again get himself getting across. Again is Clyde Tropper keeping the ball and finding Bill Antonio. Apologies there, it was a Panashe Mutimbanyoga. And then corner kick in favor of Zimbabwe, who would love to change this game in a goal cleared by the big man Simon Cipriano. And the pressure being put on again by that man Darcio Augusto, who goes behind the defenders, and a communication error happens here. Looks like he's going to profit from it. That is Valdemiro Paulinho, who could have oh my goodness, could have added a touch, could have closed the game with the lead. My. Look at this, smart man Darcio Augusto goes over the big man Munashe Katondo, and keeper was coming out, Rafael Beatty, and Valdemiro, young man, maybe because of his structure he couldn't get the ball down on time, but he had put it on his chest and just taken a direct shot at goal. He comes out with a smile and says, I could have done better. And he puts his hand up to say, Hadi, gents. Well, it still remains Mozambique 0 and Zimbabwe 0 at halftime. I mean, there's a chance here coming from Darcio, trying to go for goal with an outer foot. Well, ideally was there. Keeper had already been invited by that ball. I think it just needed a bit of less height, because the intentions were not to go for his teammates. Now, Bill Antonio gave his teammate, that is Tapio Mandineza, a chance, but Tapio was unable to score that one. Again, across coming from Darcio Augusto. They're just unable to score, and the big man Diaz Fumo says it was too much of a spinning ball. And Munashe Karananga also just couldn't hit the ball directly, couldn't put power on it, and a cross coming from this big man on the left-hand side, Tino Tenda, to give Lexington Mujokoro, who also couldn't make that connection properly. Now here's a chance that could have saw Zimbabwe taking the lead earlier on at first half, coming from Lexington Mujokoro. Kelvin needed to pick a spot. Keeper already committed to the right-hand side, and could have been an in-step pass into the net. Oh, ideas and being creative, forcing the keeper and the center back to make a mistake. That is Munashe Katondo, not seeing the movement of the keeper, and Valdemiro Paulinho was unable to seal that one. Well, statistics are saying to you, goal attempts is sitting on 6 for Zimbabwe, and a number of fouls is 10 on 10. Ball position in favor of Zimbabwe is a 55, and I can tell you Mozambique on 45. Number of offsides 0, and no card has been showed so far. Well, first 45 minutes is out the way. So both sides will be looking at now how best they can advance forward, how best they can perhaps get a goal in this match. Because a draw might not look good for Zimbabwe, and a draw might look okay for Mozambique. It all depends on the remaining 45 minutes. How best do they defend and how best can they become offensive? Which is, as far as I'm concerned, both sides need to, maybe in the final third, find themselves converting, taking those shots at goal. There's no room for them to play a combination play in the final third. Everybody has their bodies behind, have numbers blocking their runs, which are the simplest thing to do. Then take them from outside, force a keeper to save. Maybe a deflection would be something that they profit from. As far as Zimbabwe, they know what they then need to do for them to get a goal. They have the personality, they have the structure as well to just bully and pull themselves through to the net if need be. But you have a Mozambican side that they just putting character and personality that says we want to fight through and through. And if it means that we maintain it to a draw, we then will. But if there are fresh legs, if there's a need for them to actually just bring on fresh legs, they'll then look at bringing the likes of Gabriel Pinho, who is maybe a possible substitution, and Eduardo Andresone is another option. And sitting on the bench of Zimbabwe's Tendai Matindi rather, and Brandon Nyangurungo is a player maybe that they want to bring on, but number 16, his name is Matriplets Muleya. His name is Matriplets. Interesting name. Well, he's at least 30 minutes of a run in this tournament. Ball played wide already to try find that man, Valdemiro Paulinho, who could have scored a goal in the last 10 seconds of the 3 minutes additional time. Now ball played to the big man to find yes, big man again. He goes for a shot and the keeper forced to fist it over there. Deflection finds him well positioned and timing his jump as well. Just making a good contact coming there. And Rene Tembe, one of the players we don't want to give room much. Now we are going to watch a game. Kelvin Mangiza goes for first ball attempt, but cleared away of danger by that man who just wants nothing but the ball to be off the danger zone. So Simon Cipriano was just battling it out there with Kelvin Mangiza. And here's this cross coming from Bill Antonio, and nobody just pressing him, and eventually he takes that shot with his weaker foot, and he was in motion, so he has every right to go for goal. Had he not gone for goal, would have went across or outside the frame of goal. Well, I must say he was took the responsibility to himself. That is Bill Antonio, the player who came on as a sub in the previous match in the 80th minute to try and help defend the lead they had against South Africa. But South Africa was up for it. They had the appetite to get the second goal, and they sure did. No, slight run coming from Clyde Dropper. El Capitano finds that tiny man again. That is Tarcio Augusto. Bonashe Pini with a combining of touches again. Bill Antonio on the bike. It's a 1v1 against Alberto Alfase, and Alfase says it's not really a corner. I didn't make contact like you say I did. So the ref has ruled it, man. Young man. The man who pulled a beautiful save earlier on. Again, is Kevin going for that first pole to try and find. Well, unlucky for him. Was unable to get the right person. And now Opini. Denied by Cardoso Navella. Valdemiro Paulinho looking for his main man, Simon Cipriano. Zimbabwe can still make those necessary substitutions if need be. I mean, if you look at certain positions, you'd rather put in fresh legs. And, is number 16 now? Well, my triplets Muleya. Interesting name that is in South Africa. I must say, Pini gets that one to find Bill Antonio. Denied room to make a run at it. Valdemiro Paulinho to Clyde Tropa. Can he get a cross in? And he does. Had to grab the bodies. Oh. Cool, calm, cleared off the danger zone, that is the box, to find the Speedy Gonzalez himself, Bill Antonio. He was just trying by all means to drill his way into the box. Now Valdo Paulinho. Karananga Munashe denies him the room. Again, a pacey young man, Pini. That is Bill Antonio, rather. So he has the appetite and the energy now to just show up and bring a bit of a consistency in getting the ball and just running with it, trying to find his teammates. No, that must have been painful, especially in the lower abdominal. That is Tapiwa Mandinyenya. Good header coming from Simon Cipriano to Valdemiro Paulinho. Oh, numbers are affecting Mozambique going forward. If you get such balls and Simon Cipriano just drops it for a runner, and the runner is already late because they're sitting in their own half waiting to mark the ball, then play. They don't create chances for themselves. They don't go forward in the numbers to try and maybe force Zimbabwe to make mistakes in their own half. Seems to be a foul given in favor of Mozambique there after Simon Cipriano was. Well, it's a throw-in, rather, to Paulinho, and Tropa puts in a weightless pass. Cardoso Navella fouled there by Kelvin Mangiza, who quickly apologizes and he says, Darcio Augusto, get up, mate. It's not that hard, and I am so sorry. Having some cards in this game, so clearly they're keeping it clean. They're just having those clumsy tackles, nothing for the ref to reach out into his pockets. I wonder how the refs will feel if a game ends without them issuing a cut. Do they feel bad? Do they feel good that the game was flowing? Now, nice height on the ball and a good header, but the keeper was well positioned there and denied the big man, Diaz Fumo. The goal scoring opportunity there. A number of players are just in disbelief that, well, look at this, Darcio Augusto putting a good weight, and this main man is unable to get it into the net. Maybe a drop header would have been a difficult task for Rafael Pizzi to grab it. Well, it's all about the attempts. If you make more attempts, possibly you'll get yourself scoring a goal. Looking on the outside of the pitch, I can already see the bus from Lesotho making its way to the stadium. Obviously, they'll be up against the host nation, that is South Africa. Coach Helman Mkelele there will be up against a coach that is mentored by a good friend of Coach Helman Mkelele, that is Coach Thabo Sinong, former under-20 coach. That is now Thabo Sinong, part of the senior national team of Lesotho. Now Bill Antonio denied the room to put in a cross there. Now a foul has been given to Mozambique. Now he gets himself booked into the referee's book. Since I was asking if the ref, does he feel bad if he doesn't issue any cards, or it's a good game at all. That is a Munashe Pini. If you look at that, he was denying Valdemino the run, and he pulled him back, he stretched his foot, so he used every limb to deny that run. A good call by the referee to give the captain a yellow card. Now poorly cleared by that man. Mozambique trying to find the players, but they're forever coming late. And now this man, Darsho, is forced to delay the run to find the Tembe. Tembe goes for a shot, but denied by Kelvin Mangiza. I mean, if they need to put more numbers, they need to bring more players up front, more players forward. It will be better for them because they get the chances to try and get a goal, but it seems to be not working for them because of less numbers forward. Maybe they need to play a wall pass to Simon Cipriano, who's their front man, and then get closer and take shots at goal, maybe. But if a player like Darcio Augusto is delaying the run or delaying the pass because there are no players close, then it becomes a challenge. Now Valdemino on the ball, got a pass from Jose Zavala. Zavala, can he get a cross in, and a protest for a handball, then S is given. It's a penalty. He claims it to be a ball that hit his hip. That is Makatondo Munashe. Man, at the end of the day, they tried and tried and tried. Eventually, they get themselves a penalty. Now, nicely put in here. I think the angle is a bit awkward, is a bit tight for us to quickly tell. And we will get to you, and you get to see what is really given there. Now, responsibilities are given to Simon Cipriano, who will look into giving the team a lead. Cipriano goes for power, and he gets it right. Nice hard and low. No chance for the keeper to try and save that one. Well, he went the right direction, I must say, but Simon Cipriano says, I need my second goal, and he gets himself another goal. Here's the angle that should show us everything. Nicely played in, and of course there is no hand ball, but the ref saw it awkwardly from that angle, and well, Mozambique profiting from it. Well, referees, maybe a better view would have worked for you, because now Simon Cipriano is the goal scorer. Profit from this penalty. It seems like there was no touch with the hand. I think the angle of the ref was a bit awkward. However, it is Mozambique 1 and Zimbabwe are still a goal, without a goal rather. You know, it's a game on. We've seen the energy of Zimbabwe when they trail from behind. They don't give up. They never go down without a fight. Now, here's a big man. Only now he finds himself getting out of the box, getting out of their own half, playing, going forward instead of him always shuffling the balls to the side. That is Karananga. He would then need to add height up front. Cardoso, Novella is not allowed to just pass with that one. My goodness. It only took a foul for Mozambique to score. It could unlock Zimbabwe, or Zimbabwe will then now look at unlocking Mozambique. Nobody cares about a player who is down when you are trailing from behind. So Simon Cipriano, the goal scorer, you'd have to get up and jog it off, because the opposition team says we're not taking the ball out. Pini goes to Katondo. Katondo finds Munashe Karananga, who then forces it to Kelvin Mangiza. Dino Tenda gets a nice, good drive of a cross, and last man, Bill Antonio, profiting from the ricochet header there. That could have been a good attempt, maybe, had he put it in his chest. In terms of extra touch, would work better. No, this man Munashe Katondo has been invited out by the coach. Oh, there's no need for them to defend in this match. You'd rather bring an extra man forward and sit back with three, with of course Oscar Magrejo coming on. And no, they'll be sitting with three at the back. And taking a defender early would be a better option. Comes in and it goes to the right hand side as a left hand side, rather, as a winger, to try and assist the likes of Dino Tenda and Kevin Mungiza. Well, we are still live on COSAFA TV. Engage with us if you've got a point, and if you want to query that penalty, you can just do hashtag #under20, and definitely we'll engage with you there and see how best we can do in sharing our views and listening to your views as well. So that Mozambique getting the ball out of the danger zone. Oh. The game is slowly picking up. Pini to the big man, and he wins himself a foul, of course. That is Tapiwa Mandinyenya. Tapiwa Mandinyenya claims it to be pulled there, unless you can see the hands, but nothing too hard. Man needs to defend better, needs to shout at his troops, and how can they not hold this one? How can they find themselves defending this one? Now Oscar goes for first ball, and again a ricochet, but unable to score. That man Tapio Mantinyanya. Still frustrated Mozambique, just shouting to focus and keeping themselves motivated. They're waiting anxiously for that ball, going for that last ball, and a header between the two tall men, but unable to just get it into the net. And protested for a handball coming from Valdemino Paulinho, but Pacey Valdemino will stay on his ground and just not give Kelvin what he wants. No, the big man, that is Cardoso Novella. I'll say that a different character, different personality has come out of the Mozambican side, a different attitude at all. You know, not giving Zimbabwe what they want, not staying on the ground the way they were expected to, but on the hunt for another goal. Oh, they'll be sitting with 6 points should it end like this. And that puts them in a better position, and which is good for them. I mean, if you look at Mozambique's participation in this tournament, the last time they made runners-up was 2008. So that is 8 years of their participation, because they haven't gotten off the group stages. 2018 group stages, 2013. The only year that they didn't participate was 2012. So 17, 18 and 19 still never got out of the group stage. Well, today they have a better option, a better opportunity, or a better chance for them to advance. And this young man, Rene Tembe, has been quite good at the back there. That's a tucked in young man, and seems to be well presented there. And of course there's a foul there coming from this big man of Tinotenda Muringai. Pini from Munashe Garananga. His kick there, and blames himself that he could have kicked it better, but a throw-in. It's not a dangerous zone. El Capitano from Asociación Blackpool. Stay on his feet, big as coach. That is Tonderaya Frank Ndiraya. Or a ball to find Pini. Pini drives it in, but not too much of a quality cross. However, his teammate is there. That is a Bill to just cut it back in and able to get it right. That is man Mojokoro, Lexington. Again, a pass coming from Garananga Manashe. Now Garananga has come out to put in a cross. Well, he's forced to pop out and try and assist offensively, because he's been too much of a defensive player. Then it invited Mozambique into their half. Eventually they saw the opportunity to just keep on pressing until they profited a penalty. No, the call from the keeper, just cool, calm and collected, regardless of the forest of players that were in front of him. Darcio Augusto goes for long to try and find the tiny man of Valdemiro Paulinho. Oh, Speedy Gonzalez as well. And against this Speedy Gonzalez too. And is Bill Antonio. No, keeper goes down, buys himself time. No, keep calm, relax. Stay in the game, concentrate is what you need to do when you've got the lead. Now, push coming from Karananga Monash. He knows what it is then. Stretched his arm to just knock him, but it seems like he's getting a muscle pull. I think the landing aggravated it. Here's that jump. Well, definitely the landing was not the greatest landing. And he has every right now because he's on the lead. You know, you can take your time on the ground, and the ref says that, can we have the stretcher brought onto the field? Malawian Ishmael Chizenga, and Mozambique have a number of substitutions that they can bring on. And in the game, that Berlamino Jose Albino is one of the players that are warming up, and Josias Dlakama also one of the players who possible substitutions for this man is sitting on the bench. That is Dario Monteiro. Oh. Now a substitution by the Mozambican side, bringing a big man. I think it's all about defending. You lead, that is Mozambique. Now he came on. That's Gabriel Pinho. Was a player that was introduced, I believe, around at the very same time. No, nothing to trouble that young man in the goal post. Corner kick given to Zimbabwe. Again, the likes of Zimbabwe. Saying not now, we can make this up, because Kelvin is going for the outswinger and the keeper pops up again. Just nicely grabs those paws and it goes down. Oh, you have to buy all the time in the world when Kelvin Mangiza keeps on gifting you the balls. There's every time in the world to delay and force them to just keep on making a noise, and you are calm having the ball on the ground. Oh, a bit of pushing coming from Panashe. Timbanyoga. That is a yellow card, Panashe. Or quickly played to find a Bill Antonio, who gets on the bike but gets it right and eventually gets to the ball, trying to beat Clyde Tropper. Poor defensive captain there couldn't win that one. No, here's another young man who's putting his bike on the move. That is Jose Zavala up against a big man, Munashe Karananga, who wins it, and the ref says play on, and they found Bill finds the big man Tapio, but poor pass, lack of weight. You say that necessary changes. Well, the intent was to introduce a player, and then they opted to change the initial substitution, which also I didn't get it, because the board now across is put in. Can the Zimbabwe get this one? But poorly headed by Lexington. Mujokoro he is not having a good game today. He is not having one of the greatest games today. I mean, this man scored a beautiful goal against South Africa, but the energy levels today seems to have dropped, and the hunger for a goal seemed to have dropped as well. He is just not having a good day. He is one player that could punish. We saw what he did against South Africa, and today is just letting his captain down, that is Pini. And when you miss such chances, you then just drop the spirit of the team. And he knows very well that he never had a good game. He did not have a good game today. He had a few moments, rather should we say, moments that could have resulted into a goal, but it just did not happen. Now Tendai, he comes on to take over from where he left off. That is Tendai Matindife, young man from Ngezi Platinum Stars FC in Zimbabwe. Oh, he came on as a sub at the previous match, and he just played under 15 minutes. So no, not bad run for this young man. There is Tendai Mantinife. The foul there given by the ref. I mean, That is Simon Cipriano pulling the big man as well. That is Clyde Tropper. Hasn't had a good second half too. Has been going down a lot of time. Well, now they'll be forced to make that sub because he has been going down, and his hamstring seems to be not giving him enough minutes or enough time to get back into the game. I must say that Mozambique have been knocking and knocking, just couldn't penetrate through, and there was a protest for a handball, but this man, he says, Munashe Katondo, says, I did not touch that ball, and he is right. Well, this man was able to hit it hard and low and give it direction, and just to give his team the lead they've been wanting, his team the chance to get another 3 points. The temperature hasn't changed much, and 22 degrees Celsius, there's still no sun, or a bit of wind here and there. Well, it seems like it's allowing them, and a substitution is also happening for Mozambique, bringing out the big man Simon Cipriano, bringing another big man to stay up front, that is Gabriel Pinho. You've got to love these names. And an injured young man, that is Cipriano, who is just making his way out and all the way into the change room through the tunnel. Maybe he needs a bit of medical assistance. Now, the ball cleared away by that man Sultan Jamasser to find the big man opposition player, that is Munashe Garananga. Manaret Matsigite. They go long. Oh, here's the big bold man already in the thick of things with that man that plays on the left hand side. Calvin Mangi's has been quiet in this the second half. Pace coming from Valdemino, just exploring that side of Munashe Pini and just not giving him any room to rest. This young man is a nerve in the ear, man. When he hears the ball, you need to start to have your engine running. Escape to find Clyde Tropper. Tropper lays it for Cardoso Novella, and Novella puts in a cross, and seems to be trouble in paradise with Tino Tenda Moringai alongside Rafael Pizzi. Not sure where to get the ball. No, here are the fresh legs, Oscar Majesho. To the big man Tapio Mandiñeña, and again fresh legs. That is Oscar. Again, the big man seems to not have the pace needed in this pass of the ball, and just jogging his way to the ball. No intention to actually grab that one. Well, they've reshuffled at the back and sitting with 3. That is Zimbabwe now having to drop Munashe Karananga to sit deep in the back. Clearance there, digging the ground too. Nicely driven into this man. The ball seems to be changing direction, but he's got his eyes on the ball. I must say, credit must be given to Kimisi Zavala from Black Bulls. Has been solid with his with the balls that he's been getting. Every high ball gets them at first. No second chance. Look at the big bold man, Alberto Alfacé, just aggressively and pushing himself in and putting his body in front of another tiny man in the center, the number 6 from Zimbabwe. Hasn't seen much of the ball, and it's becoming a frustration for him. That is Tendai Matindife. Again, a Bill on the run. That's a big bold man says again, I will put my body in front. Well, you could have passed your teammates, Clyde, instead of you toe poking it away into throw in. Yet the ref had not blown a whistle. That is Alberto Arfacé, and the ref says, roll yourself outside the field. And a medic seems to be jogging into the field. Now, some element of unfairness there, because the ref had asked him to roll out, but he then refused to, and it seemed like he refused to go out and is back on. He needed to jog all the way around and start over at halfway line. Oh, the ref has lost his sight. He's forgot the rules. It could be a bookable offense if you just defy the ref. Big man Munashe Karananga to Kelvin Mangiza. Foul to Zimbabwe. Now, Trust has put in it, 2 of the numbers, but Trust is given to Kermis Zavala, who just nicely gets those high balls and well timed his jumps. Say probably one of the contenders for man of the match, should we say. That is Kemis. He's been solid, and if he gets the man of the match, I would say it is only fair. Well, Mozambique are not wasting time. They're just making subs and adding pace, making subs and making proper subs that will profit them defensively and offensively. They are coming all right. I mean, a scrappy game, but results at the end of the day, scoreboard gives them an advantage. This group is going to be interesting when it comes to the remainder of the games, especially the game coming after. Because no one is going to bypass Mozambique today, should we say. Mozambique is sitting on 6. If it ends with Mozambique leading 1 goal, or time wasting of note here, and he gets a yellow card, and he says, come on, referee. Well, the man from Malawi, Ishmael Chizinga, says, you will be in my books, young man, and wait for me to finish writing you in my books so that I do not miss it next time around that I have booked you. Coach, just not impressed with how they miss a passing. Well, Zavala has made his contribution in this game, and Josias Jakama come on. And you bring on fresh legs to try and contain the opposition team, and you take on a young man who has 11 caps with the national team. That is Josias Jakama, and you bring that is Jose Zavala rather, and Josias Jakama coming on. Finally he gets himself into the referee's books. Well, he came on at second half. Already Tendai Matindife is registered in the referee's books. So if you play dirty and you play clumsy, Valdemino has been a nerve in the defense side of Zimbabwe, and eventually he gets them booked most of the time because he puts his body in front and he throws his body in front so well. You came on as a sub, you're already sitting on a yellow. What are the chances that you will be able to start the next game? The coach will look at the risks, because the books must still say you are clean to play and you're not a danger, or you don't put us at risk of getting a second yellow. Again, Darcio gets on and he strikes a shot, but denied by the defenders there, and seems to have a ricochet on this main man, Manured Matsigita. Substitution by Zimbabwe, bringing out Kelvin Mangiza, bringing on a number 7, or that's a 6-1, a pop. And South Africa, it's a good number. That is Brendan Nyangurungo. That is coming on, Sir Brendan. Brendan Nyangurungo. Say I've gotten better with the pronunciation, and a header coming on. The substitution profits from a free header. Upon watching that was, and this man says, I will jump high. That is Gabriel Pinho. He gave Mozambique the goal they need. 85th minute, a cross has been played in, and freely so charges to the first pole. Keeper comes out, but Gabriela says, I will win it first. Indecisiveness there from the keeper. Why did it decide to go back? Well, poorly marked. And Gabriel says, I can do this too. Teammates, well, this is what you call a super sub. Comes in, puts pressure, comes in, keeps the ball, comes in. He then gets to just get a free header. Well, score remains, not that it remains, the score is Mozambique 2 and Zimbabwe without a goal. Can they come back into this match? Well, we wait and see now, because Mozambique have stretched the lead. Now, only thing they need is keep the ball and pass and pass and pass. Now, the way Mozambique started the game, they started with waiting in their own half, waited for Zimbabwe to make a move. Like towards the end of the first half, that's when Zimbabwe started to make a move, and Mozambique were coming out now to add those numbers. Now, this is how they need to finish the game. They need to now go back to how they started the game at first half and wait for Zimbabwe to come at them. Have numbers behind the ball, keep the lead, do not expose the keeper. We have nothing to lose now, but everything to gain. Should it result into 90 minutes without opposition team scoring a goal? So, defensively is something that they need to work on in their mind. And a unnecessary tackle there that could have got him in the books. That is Cardoso Novella. No, ball played. Again, another clumsy tackle coming from Josias Dakama. Josias, they need to come down. That's it. Mozambique side, because they'll eventually find themselves in the box, or they'll just make a clumsy tackle in the wrong areas. Ball played long, but unbothered man, that is Gabriel Pinho. He's done his part already. Why must he chase too much? Ball with lucky number 6. That is it. Tendai Matindife.
Vai, Jos, vai, Jos. Vai, Gabi, vai, Gabi.
Ball is streets wide to try and find the fresh legs. Ball is played long, but the header is not proper there from Manaret Matzigita. Big man, they with this big body against Ganaranga. Oh, here's in trouble. Some Bill Antonio against another big man, Alberto Arfase, unable to clear it properly. Won by Panache Mutimbanyoga, who goes far wide to try and find that number 8, Oscar Marguero.
Vai, vem ajudar aqui, vamos.
Corner kick
Vai, falta Gabi.
against Mozambique. It's only a matter of time. The clock is ticking and they played long, but it bounces away from the players. Now he goes for a strike, but still denied and hits the big bodies of Mozambique. Ball played it to Pini. Pini finds Karananga. Tino Tenda Moringai. Clearance not proper, and can Zimbabwe get themselves a scoring there, but big bodies and big feet are just stretching out to get the ball out of the danger zone. I must say that Mozambique are putting their bodies behind, putting their bodies on the line. A big man, that is Alberto Arfase, has been a solid centre back. He's had a good game. Oh. Says that must say that he will reward himself. He will reward themselves. No, you can. Zimbabwe looking for that one goal. Well, we've bypassed the actual 90th minute of the time, and 4 minutes added on by the referee to just see where is this game going. Well, by the looks of things, it's Mozambique who are at an advantage now, and Zimbabwe are just chasing and realizing now in the last minute that they need to add more numbers. They need to put the ball behind. They need to find their teammates. Now here's a missed kick coming from these guys, and Bill Antonio. Paulinho watches out. Well, here's that cross coming from the big man there, and he was just ready to charge up and competing with the keeper, who really judged himself. And back to the final half, or rather the last 2 minutes of the 4 added minutes by the ref. Well, score still remains the same, with Mozambique leading 2 and Zimbabwe on 0. That's the man who's Darcio Augusto gets kicked by Pini there, well, intentionally. So Pini is fed up. Pini is giving in on himself. I mean, such an unnecessary tackle away from the frame of goal. Yes, he's delaying. Yes, he's buying time, but it rather guide him out and force him to give you that throw in. And for you to go so hard at him, well, he's sitting on a yellow card already, so he knows if the ref was to call him now, it'll be all over, and the coach will be frustrated even more. That is a Tondereri Frank Ndiraya. Mr. Frank has a huge task on his shoulder with losing the first game. Now they are trailing behind, well, rather not losing the first game, they're playing a draw in the first match, and the second game seems to be not going their way. What does this mean now in the scoreboard and the group stages? They're still sitting with 1 point from the match they played against South Africa. For them to have their hopes high, they would rather hope that Lesotho plays a draw against South Africa. They'd rather hope that Lesotho beats South Africa. Well, a ball put in here, and nobody to really compete for that ball. Found Manaret Matsigite, who goes wide to Tendonindi, who then goes long to that man Brendan Nyangurungo. The foul there, well, that's it. Against Mozambique. Oh, ref says, come on, but initially he said to stop, wait. Well, I think the additional time has elapsed. However, the ref seems or feels generous to add another minute. Or maybe it's because we had a player down for the longest time. Now, the foul has been given there against Zimbabwe, and finally he says it is all over, it is all over, and Zimbabwe are the team to walk away with the 3 points. Well, a well-deserved 3 points. I mean, they had secured their first 3 points at the opening game, and this time around this man came on as a sub, and he says Gabriela Pino registers his name in the goal scorers of this tournament, coming on as a sub and just being able to help your team get an extra goal, help your team to maintain the lead, and help your team to win the game. It was just all luck and chance taken by the team until Mozambique eventually found themselves scoring a goal. Must give credit to Kemis Zavala, one of the keepers that were solid in this match through and through. I mean, the Zimbabwean side was just unable to score a goal in this match. However, Mozambique 2 and Zimbabwe 0. And then if you look at the first half, it favored the likes of Bill Antonio with that strike with his left foot. But this man, Kemis Zavala, finds himself just fixing that one over the crossbar. No chance takers always save. Must say, Bill had a good run. He tucked in very well. He read the situation, couldn't play it to anyone, and then he opted to rather take a shot. No, a set piece coming from a Dashio was saved by this man again, Rafael Pizzi. And the header didn't have much power, and Sultan Jemese, or Diaz Fumo, was unable to put power on it. Here's that handball that was awarded to Mozambique in the match, and well, a good run, good cross, and a handball stand. Straight up, the ref was ready to give this man, Simon Cipriano, the opportunity to give his team the lead. A good power behind the ball and direction, of course. Well, the keeper went the right direction, but unable to stop that one. And there's that wave coming from Moz. And a corner kick that was ball washed, and this main man jumped high and said, I will register my name in the goal scorers register. That is Gabriela Pino, and Mozambique saw themselves leading. Well, must say that statistics speak differently, because the number of chances that Mozambique got could have maybe gotten them scoring a goal, and the fouls conceded by Zimbabwe as well as 21. However, ball position sits on 56 and 44.
Well, the celebrations for Mozambique tell you the whole story as far as they stay in the tournament, as of course they were hoping that they would be able to go through to the knockout, and that is the current situation. Right now I am joined by the player of the match, Monashe. Monashe, first and foremost, congratulations. Let's talk about your performance today, because I mean the damage could have been far worse if you were not there and to help the team out. How do you feel about that?
I'm disappointed that we didn't get the result today, but we were hoping we could get a result since we drew like one of the toughest matches in the first game. But yeah, I'm just disappointed we didn't get the 3 points today, but I'm grateful for this.
Let's look at the performance as well. The team then puts up a good performance, but just unable to find that goal. How was that as you were players? Was it a frustrating time when the team is combining so well, dominating as far as stats go, but unable to find the back of the net?
It was so frustrating for us not to convert the chances that we got, because like in training we're always scoring goals, but today it was just not our day. But like I think everyone tried their best, like we did our best, but it just wasn't our day.
Thank you so much, Monashe.
Okay, thank you, man.
A player that got the player of the match accolade. His duty today to stop the Mozambique attack. It was not to be. I am now joined by the coach of Zimbabwe. Coach, appreciate your time. You spoke about an open game, and it was, and we saw your team dominating the stats as far as possession goes, but just unable to find the back of the net. Your summation?
Absolutely. Look, I think we did well in the first half to create the chances, but I thought we were also a little bit heavy. We didn't really express ourselves. You know, we were not moving the ball quick enough. But well, besides that, we got the two clear chances in the first half, which I thought we should have put away, but we didn't. And in football, if you don't take your chances, then you risk losing the game, and that's what happened. Credit to Mozambique, they fought. They had a clear game plan. They stuck to it, got the needed goals, and here they are. They are almost through to the next round, and look, our hopes are no longer there.
Yeah, and you speak about them progressing through to the competition, and as the window closes for Zimbabwe, this is a team that has won this particular tournament 6 times in the past, not participating last year, and the last time that they were here, 2018, they were runners up. But you look at the performance again, coach, you have to bring it in, because then you look at the forward play, the substitutions that you made, because you were so comfortable, but still nothing happened.
Yeah, I think it's a case of development. I think we just need to go back and develop our players well. You know, if you look at most of the stuff which was lacking here today from my team, failure to strike the ball, basic things, failure to just shoot at goal, you know, and those things are basic, and if you don't have the basics in football, then it becomes difficult for you. So I think it's a job which a message which we have to carry back home and make sure that whoever is developing these players are developed in the right way, and said to lose a match that way, but that's what it is.
Hard luck. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The coach of Zimbabwe, Coach Tonderai. I am now joined by Coach Dario. Coach, you always say you don't want to think far ahead. You want to focus on the game that is a second victory back to back. How does that make you feel, knowing that that window of opportunity is wide open for Mozambique to the knockout stages?
Yeah, we are happy. It was a difficult match. Zimbabwe is a good team. We started Zimbabwe to come for this match, and we knew that they match South Africa, and South Africa is a great team. So we are happy because we won. We work very well. The boys, I told you before next game that they can do well. They can do better, so they did better.
You were a bit agitated, especially because the team was unable to open those pockets of spaces and try and hurt Zimbabwe. But at the end, it seemed like the team was finally getting it right.
Yes, we try to tell the boys that we are not satisfied with the first half, so we must do better in the second half. They did. They played all the 90 minutes very organized, and it was the key for the victory.
One has to wonder about Simon Cipriano. Coach, he received his second yellow card, meaning that he does miss the next game, but you had already made that substitution. Just tell us around the planning for that, because he's the player that scored in the previous game against Lesotho and here today.
Yes, we must play without him, so we'll choose another player to play in his place.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The result does guarantee Mozambique a place in the knockout stages, 2 back-to-back victories here and 2 clean sheets as they were able to get a 2-0 victory against Zimbabwe. The next game will be between Lesotho and South Africa. Kicking off at the very same time will be Botswana and Angola. Well, Zimbabwe that are 6-time champions of the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship. It does look like their journey will be cut short, seeing that the team did not participate last year in the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship. The coach had made so many reservations as far as what it is that the team needs to do. They started off with a draw against South Africa, and this was a decider for them. They were unable to get the result here against Mozambique. They're only left with 1 fixture against Lesotho, but for Mozambique, for them, back-to-back victory, this does all but guarantee them a place in the knockout stages, and that is something that Coach Dario was saying that he's looking forward to. But please join us for our second build-up right here on COSAFA TV.